Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here with you today and to have this opportunity to share what we consider to be good practice with you. And it's that kind of carry-sherry bit and the opportunity to actually make a difference that personally excites me about being involved in the sustainability arena. Now, nothing much happening. Whoops.
You're probably being too gentle with it.
Do you think? I've got to be firm.
There we are, yes.
Like with my men, that's the way forward, isn't it?
Don't press the black button. Don't press the black button.
No, don't press the black button. Okay. So for today's presentation, I'm going to give you a very brief background on the company for those of you who don't know us. And it'll also help set a sort of context for what follows. Talk about our sustainability strategy as a whole. Drill down into sustainable procurement, which is an intrinsic part of our strategy. Give you some examples of the deliverables we've been able to achieve as a result of that. Touch upon the benefits overall and leave you with a brief summary statement. So, right. Interserve is a support services and construction company that operates in both the public and private sector in UK and internationally. We offer advice, design, construction and facilities management services in support of society's infrastructure. And we also provide plant and equipment in specialist areas. We employ some 50,000 people worldwide, with about 25,000 in the UK, and have an annual turnover of some £1.9 billion. And this image serves to illustrate the diversity of environments that we work in, the range of clients that we serve, and the variety of tasks that we undertake. You'll be pleased to know I'm not going to go through each individual number. I can't remember what they all are anyway, but it gives you, I think, a feel for what we do. Now, in 2007, although we had been reporting on such issues as environmental performance and health and safety performance for a number of years, and indeed working to certified standards in all of those recognised disciplines, we decided to take a more formal approach to sustainable development, and indeed a more holistic one. Not least to consolidate what we were already doing, but also to ensure that we were ticking that triple bottom line of sustainability. We wouldn't look at just the environmental bits and bobs. We'd address the social, economic and environmental aspects and impacts of how we live and work. So in 2008, we launched our renewables initiative, Renewables, the Route to Sustainability. And starting here with our sustainability policy, which includes 6 commitments. Again, I won't go into them all in detail, but I trust you can see we're starting to tick boxes across those 3 areas, operating safely, looking after the health and well-being of our employees and stakeholders, bringing added value to clients, providing sustainable services, sustainable building services, sorry. Part of the initiative involved the production of our Sustainable Development Guide, Renewables, of which we printed a limited number of hard copies for obvious reasons. It'd be a contradiction in terms otherwise. And we hold the full thing on our intranet, and we also have a micro site, which is accessible by yourselves and by all, that has some of the main details on there, so it's based on renewables. We've used the word renewables as an acronym, and you can see against each letter is an area that has to, an area of sustainability that has to be considered during each and every stage of any task or project that we undertake. It's designed for use by all of our personnel. It contains headline and detailed guidance against each of these sections, together with sustainability in practice case studies, and also includes a matrix of sustainability performance measures. So, as you can see, R for raw material use, it's here, for example, that our hierarchy for sustainable procurement lies. It's benefited ourselves, certainly, but it's also designed to benefit our clients. It's been adopted throughout the company, is being integrated into our processes and procedures. Work has started to integrate it into our business plans, so it's coming back to some of the things that have already been mentioned. We are endeavouring to do that. We want to make this the way that we work, not an add-on. It's an award-winning trademarked brand, and we've found that very, very useful in facilitating engagement with our staff. It's instantly recognisable, and they're familiar with the subject matter, so it's recognisable internally and externally. Moving on to sustainable procurement, I think this just illustrates that obviously sustainable procurement is at the heart of being able to deliver on those three areas and is very much part of our overall approach. So what have we actually done? Our people, all our procurement staff have had sustainability training and sustainable procurement training. Environmental training has been undertaken, and certain personnel have had advanced sustainability procurement training in issues such as timber procurement. They all have that reflected in their job descriptions, and specific sustainable development objectives and targets are included in their personal development plans. Our procurement policies and strategies have been further enhanced to reflect all the sustainability requirements, and it's also reflected in our tender documentation and indeed in the contracts that we award. So it's very much part and parcel of what we do. Our engagement has extended further than normal, not only through our own supply chain, but with external bodies. Including we're working with the BSI on developing the standard for sustainable procurement, working on the World Resources Institute GHG protocol test of the Scope 3 emissions measurement, which is really interesting because when you get into Scope 3, those of you who know the detail of it, it gets very sticky because you're going down your supply chain if you're going to do it properly. So we're helping to road test that. And I know that the procurement team have certainly found Action Sustainability truly inspirational, and we've had assistance and help from Bioregional as well. Our supplier partnerships, we've enhanced that through holding sustainability events with key suppliers, 50 at a time attending, where we've given presentations, we've engaged with them, handed out questionnaires, and have witnessed cross-supplier engagement, which is really refreshing. So that's been really interesting. We've undertaken myriads of external presentations. In fact, I believe the procurement director presented to a team from Brazil not long ago, which was, again, the tentacles are spreading outwards. We've adopted the flexible framework, not least because our major client base is public sector, but also because it's a really good tool to measure our performance. All of this has been done with close links to the sustainability team, so we ensure that we're all walking down the same road and have a proper approach, a uniform approach. Flexible framework, we're working at level 5, which is what we were aiming to do this year. There are still areas for improvement, as there is in everything, the measurement section being particularly challenging. But we're already working on what our vision of level 6 will be. So we don't want to sit on any laurels. Process tools we've used in procurement, supplier accreditation, commodity risk assessments, I can't read this, I'm getting terribly old, supply chain mapping, product assessment, supplier process risk mapping, and right down to requisition ordering forms. I'll just touch on a couple of those. This is an example of our supplier sustainability assessment model. And as you can see, we're utilising renewables again. There are a series of questions against each of those areas that I showed you earlier. On here, it's showing the image of being. Oh, I'm starting to sound like Julie Andrews, aren't I? But that area captures health, well-being of our workforce and our stakeholders and communities. And we're touching on issues such as living wage and leave, asking these questions of suppliers. So this is in addition to the standard health and safety types of questions that you might ask of your supply chain. So very much enhanced, we feel. Some of the questions are straightforward yes and no answers, but there's clever gizmos behind all that then produce traffic light system indicator as an assessment of the supplier. Now, we don't see red just because the supplier looks red. We'll investigate if that's the case and look to see A, that they've completed the form correctly, and B, are there areas where we can help them improve on their own sustainability agenda so that we're all going down the same road.